everybody. Welcome back to Morning Coffee. Thanks so much for watching my channel. We talk all about organization, goal getting, productivity, and personal growth here. And today I have a really exciting video for you. I am taking you on a tour of my newly organized pantry. Who doesn't love a very satisfying, organized pantry video? Because I know I love them. Hopefully you're gonna like this one too. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos that I share here on this channel about getting organized. As you can see, we have a really nice size pantry. There's a lot of room in here, and I just want to make sure that we're kind of like using it to its greatest potential. So let me kind of get you caught up with what I've started. So at the top of our pantry, you can see that's all our booze. Here in this section is where I keep like baking and cooking goods. So one of the gifts for Christmas was these Better Homes and Gardens containers. They came in a set. So I pulled those out and started putting some of our baking stuff in there. This shelf is like cereals and canned goods. This is the chips and snacks and nuts and crouton section. None of that was new. This down here right now is sodas. We have a ton of sodas in the house right now. We don't normally, honestly. The Diet Coke we usually do, but the rest not really. So that's there. I got these two baskets from Kohl's for Christmas, so I started working on those. And then here at the bottom is just kind of miscellaneous stuff. So when I approached the whole like pantry project, I actually decided that for me, I was just going to break it down into small pieces and work on it incrementally. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there, and I've definitely watched plenty of videos where people just do it all in one shot. They take a full day or 2 days. They go to the store, they buy all of the things at once, and they just get the whole project done in a day or two. That might be the best approach for you, and that's totally awesome. For me, I find with my schedule, I tend to have more like pockets of time here and there to work on it. And also with the budget, it was kind of nice for me to work, like spread the project out so I could just every paycheck buy a few things here and there. I just felt that that worked better for me. I'm usually an incremental person. Taking something really, really big and breaking it down into smaller pieces makes it easier for me. I actually found that I really liked doing the project incrementally because as I got containers and put them in certain sections, I started to like move items in there to that bin or that container, see if the layout worked, make some changes for something that would work better. I also found that I had just, when I started the project, it was right after the holidays. And so I had a bunch of stuff in my pantry that we normally don't have. Like we'd taken a bunch of chips to a family party, or I had a lot of extra baking supplies, things that I just don't normally have in the house all the time. And so spreading out the project kind of gave me an opportunity to kind of weed through those items and use up those items that aren't there all the time so that I could refine the system to work the best for what is usually in our pantry most of the time. So I really did like the idea of spreading it out so that I could make slight adjustments and changes to the project as time went on. It was also great to like try a product out, see how it worked, how it fit before buying the next product for the project. So that's just another tip from me on how this project worked out for me. Ta-da! Here she is. Here's the pantry. She's all done. Look how beautiful she is. It's the final look of the pantry. Let me walk you through it. Up here at the top is where we keep all of our alcohol and like alcoholic drinks. This section here is all baking goods. So this is actually like a smaller shelf set back further into the closet. And obviously it's higher, which means it's harder for me to reach. So those are all like back stock or refill items, meaning I might have a thing of flour here in a container that I actually pull out and use when I want to bake. But up there, I have an extra bag of flour to refill that with. That's technically what back stock is. So this section is all baking, snacks, treats, and this is breakfast stuff. This top section here is for canned goods, bottled goods. I'm going to use this section under here for like breads, tortillas, wraps, buns, that kind of thing. Here I have just some of the veggies that you kind of keep in the pantry. So onions, there's a sweet potato in there. If I had regular potatoes, they'd be in there too. Cereal containers. And then down in this section, we get to some of our like bulked items. So I use this bin for pastas and rice. We really like tortilla chips in this house. My husband likes to eat those, and so we tend to have lots of bags of tortilla chips at once. So tortilla chips get their own bin. The rest of the snacky kind of chips that are around are in here, and then this is snacks and popcorn in this drawer. Down over here, I have soup broth. This is probably an item that, again, won't be here all the time now because right now it's winter, so we do have a lot of soup broth. In the summer, that might turn into something else. In this one, I have more backstocked items, so these are things that are going to replace items I'm currently using. This little tiny bin here is where I put like our drink mixes and, water infusers. This is Girl Scout cookies. That actually will have more Girl Scout cookies in it soon. Our niece just sold us a bunch more, so we get to replenish that. And then this is extra coffee supplies. We keep a big thing of just folders on hand, coffee filters, and those are like instant coffee packets. And then at the bottom, I have two big baskets. This one has extra cereal and granola bags in it. I buy my cereal at Costco, so it's usually in a 2-pack. So I put 1 pack in the container, and then its backup is down here. 2 soda containers for some of the sodas and flavored waters that we've got. And then this one right now just has extra paper grocery bags in it right now. I don't know if that's how that will always be, but for now, it was something that I had down there. It's nice to have some sacks on hand. If people come to visit or whatever, you can send them home with stuff. And then there is a plastic bag holder on the corner. So that is what the pantry looks like. I thought that I would quickly show you the other side of my pantry. So I have this other closet here that I also use for pantry items. I didn't do anything super fancy with this. I just used baskets I already had to clear out and reorganize what's here. But up on the top there, I have like plastic silverware, cups, paper plates, that kind of stuff. That's my sister-in-law's margarator, which is temporarily living here. She's letting us borrow it. I've got garbage bags and plastic bags in that container, extra spices in one, and to be honest with you, I really don't remember what was in the next one, but these I all got as a set from Walmart a couple years ago, so I didn't buy anything special for those. The garbage can liners actually flip right over the edge of that bin, so I can just pull one out and then the next one automatically comes down. It's awesome. There are my recipe books and recipe card holders. Those are casserole carriers. My crock pots are down under here and are food saver. I hung up this broom. I was having the hardest time figuring out how to keep the broom in the closet, so I just used this over the door hook thing that the old owners had left here. And so that is what I do with it. This is really hard to hang up with one hand. There you go. So it's nice and easy to grab. I do have a couple of aprons here on the side. At the bottom is the drink dispenser set that I have, all of our like carrying coolers and some bigger cups that just didn't have a home. And we were super lucky. The old owners had put in this spice rack, so that's where all our spices and then like cooking oils and stuff are. So when it comes to the overall layout of the pantry, here's the things I kind of tried to keep in mind. I put things up on the top that I don't reach for as often because some of the things on that way top, I actually need a like step stool to go and get. So on a regular basis, you don't want to have to be grabbing that out all the time. You kind of want to just be able to reach with what you want. So up on the top are things I use less often. Things pushed towards the back are things that I use less often. I kept the things we use the most often, most accessible to me. One of the things that I tried to keep in mind when laying out where my containers would go was to keep in mind the size of the shelf. So for example, the bins that are on this shelf are much taller than the bins that are on this shelf because this shelf is so much taller than this one. If I had had this size of containers up here on the shelf, you're losing a ton of extra vertical space that you could be using for other things. So when I was planning out which bins would go on which shelves, I always kept in mind that the bin should be as close to the size of the shelf as possible so that you can maximize the space that you are using. Let's talk about the containers that I used for the pantry. The first set of containers that I actually got for Christmas. I had put them on my Christmas list. These are from Walmart. They are the Better Homes and Gardens brand, and they have this really cool airtight locking system cover. So you pull this little lid, and then you can pop the cover off. And to put it back, you just flip it over. I liked that these were clear. I liked the way that the top worked. I thought it would help keep things fresh. And if you haven't looked, organizing containers can actually be really kind of pricey. And so these were actually a really good, reasonable deal. So a lot of the pantry used items like these from the Better Homes and Gardens line at Walmart. That's actually what the cereal containers are as well. These are from that same line at Walmart. They have the same lid, and it's nice because there's little grippers on the bottom of these, and then it tips kind of forward, so it sits like this. And so it's actually easy to pour cereal into bowls and stuff like that using these. Right here, this is a turntable. I got this from Bed Bath & Beyond. I believe the brand is Good Grips. My onion and potato bin came from the Container Store. This is their Montauk bin, and it has an open front. When I was looking for a container to put these in, they have lots of cute like metal wire baskets that I thought looked really great. But when I thought about it, you see how the onion always loses some of its peel. If you have a container that isn't like fully enclosed on the bottom, all that stuff is just gonna get put into your pantry shelves. So I picked this out because it had a full bottom, but then the open front that you could reach in and grab things. These large bins are from Target. I decided to stay with one kind of color scheme for the pantry to make it look a little bit more uniform. So I went with grays. These bins are the biggest bins that are in the pantry at Target. They do have smaller ones, but I just needed the big ones. I liked that they had a handle so that you could pull them out. And I also liked that they were plastic because they're easy to clean and maintain, and they're a little more durable, so they're gonna, withstand all the pulling out of the pantry. Of course, I had to pick the heaviest bin to show you. These bins are from Kohl's. I got these as a Christmas gift as well. Same concept with those. They're gray, they were plastic, they had a handle, they were easily slidable on the shelves. I got them at Kohl's. Obviously there's that little guy right there for a smaller item. That I believe is the small bin. This is the large. They do have a medium size as well. The last thing on the bottom are these really huge baskets. These are also from Target. I got a really great deal on these. are huge. I got a really great deal on those. Those are huge and perfect for tossing in whatever you need on the bottom. And last but not least are these soda containers. These are the brand I designed. I got them from Bed Bath & Beyond. I believe that you can use these in your fridge, but I decided I wanted to use them here in the pantry because this is where we keep a majority of our sodas and waters and stuff. I don't necessarily keep them in the fridge. These were one of the more pricey items, actually, for the pantry, which is kind of surprising. But I used a gift card to get them. But I have 3 of them, and then you can also use the top to stack. The last thing that I want to touch on from my pantry project is the fact that I labeled everything. As you can see, all of the clear bins have a label on them. I used this painter's marker. I actually got this just from Walmart. I bought a black one and a white one, and I used it to label all of the clear containers. For all of the bins, I use these cute little clip labels. These were from the Container Store, so they're metal on the back, they have a clip on the top, and then they have a little label that comes with it that slides in and out. So I used these to put a label to all of the bins. While I was, working on the project, I knew I would be labeling the bins, but I had the bins in here before the labels, and so it was kind of confusing. Like, oh crap, especially since it was new. Like, oh yeah, where did I put the cereal again? I don't really remember. So the labels were super helpful for that. I learned the label trick from a book I read last year called The Home Edit. They are a professional organizing company from Nashville. I love them, and they put out a book all about organizing spaces in your home. And the labeling was one of their tricks. It helps other people in your family, in your household, know where to put things back. It helps, give direction to other people without you being there of, hey, this is where we put our stuff, and hey, this is where you put it back. So the label was super fun for me. Actually, I enjoyed it. I was fine writing mine. You could also use a label maker if you wanted to. The Home Edit actually has a product line at the Container Store with labels that are already pre-made and pre-written out for you. I will also link those below so that if you want to go that route, you certainly can. I liked the idea of being able to just wash off the front of the container's label and write something else new on it as the labels change and different things get put in there. Or obviously all the clip labels, you just insert another label or use the back or whatever, because you're never going to have the exact same items in your pantry at all times. You got to leave yourself room to kind of play with it. And just a quick message, because I mentioned that I got both white and black label markers. Case in point of why you need both. So this is some extra containers that I have coffee in our cabinet right above our coffee maker. And you can see this one I wrote in white because the coffee grounds are dark. This one I wrote dark, and I don't know if you can even see it. I wrote on it, but you can barely see it because it's black, and then the beans are so dark that you can't really see it. So using different colors might depend on what you have in the container. I started working on this project just after Christmas because, again, I had put some of the organizing items on my Christmas list. So it was very early January when I first started this project, and I finished it this week. It's the first week of March. So it actually took me about 2 months to do the project, again, because I was only buying pieces here and there and kind of implementing and organizing as they came in. And so it took me about that long to do it, working on it a little bit a week. I am going to add up the price of all of the containers and let you know like roughly how much this project is. My guess is it's somewhere around like $250 with all of the things in there. I paid a little less than that because I did have some items given to me as gifts, and then I did have a gift card to Bed Bath & Beyond. So I also got a deal at the Container Store. My clip labels and the potato basket were actually on sale when I bought them, which was really exciting too. But I will add it up and I'll put it right here so that you can see how much it cost. You don't have to go out and buy expensive bins by any means, and containers and stuff like that. There are tons of hacks on the internet all about like turning common household boxes and stuff into containers. This was just a project that I decided I wanted to invest my time and money in and, buy all of the things for it, but you certainly don't have to do that. You can work with what you have to make it even, to make your pantry more organized than it is now. As they say, the best test of a new organizational system is how it looks like 2 or 3 months later. So remind me, and maybe I will give you an update on how the system is working well for us. Technically, we've implemented parts of this system for the last 2 months now, but now that she's fully complete, I absolutely am loving it. I'm so happy with how the project turned out. But again, the true test of a good organization system is how well it is intact in a couple of months. So I'll make sure to share that update with you. All of the products that I have referenced in my pantry that I can find online, I will link below so that you can check them out. I hope you enjoyed this pantry tour as much as I did filming it. Thank you so much for watching. I am trying to add 1,000 subscribers to this channel here in 2020. Make sure you click that subscribe button so that you can be one of them. We'd love to have you here so we can talk more about turning your to-do list into your dream life. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a really great day.